What's up, nerds? Welcome back to the channel. Today is the maiden voyage of Old Town number 1, Old Town number 2, and your boys are fine. Oh, okay. Thanks, D-bag.
Hi.
So your boys are finally getting to go fishing again. It's been a long run this winter. We're lucky that we have an early spring. Thanks, Mr. Groundhog. So we're gonna head out on this beautiful lake. It's super clear water. It's ultra calm right now, and we're gonna go catch some fish. So today we are testing out 2 new kayaks that we haven't touched the water with yet. Yes. So this one just got wet for the first time. So we got the Old Town Big Water 132. We got the Pedal 106. We're excited to test those out. We've got new rods. We've got new reels. We've got
new baits.
A whole bunch of new baits and techniques, hover strolling, hover rigs that we got to test out. I got to see if the 6 Sense Hangover is a trash bait or not.
Gobius, the Panorama. We got the Great Lakes Finesse, the Sneaky Underspin. We got the Smith Wake jerk baits. We got a whole bunch of stuff to test.
I thought you were going to freestyle or something for a second.
Maybe I will.
You should have. All right, so we're going to go fish right now, and stay tuned. Throughout this video, we'll try and like switch up techniques and baits as much as we can to our best of our abilities. We're going to try and test these things out, including those rods and reels, and we'll let you guys know what we like and what we don't like.
Let's go find out what's going to work today.
Let's do it. All right, maiden voyage. It floats, you guys. That's a good start. Look at me, I'm old school. There's no forward-facing sonar on here. Oh no. But how will I know where I am? Let's do a little droppy dropping, huh? So this is that Great Lakes Finesse drop minnow. Got an 1/8 ounce tungsten weight on this. This is going out on newer setup, TFO. Those first couple trips every year are all about just getting your gear dialed in. It's really what it is. More about that than even fishing today. Like if we catch fish, great. Honestly, it's more about like get comfortable with new rods, new reels. In this case, a kayak that I'm going to be fishing out of. Now we will probably build this kayak out a bit more. First big thing that's going to happen to this is we got a Bixby that we're going to rig out to it. Pretty near dead stick in this thing right now. Might need to go for more of a reaction bite. There we go. Got one. First fish of the year. Yep, first fish. Droppy drop. Whoop, come here, buddy. Hey! All right, Great Lakes Finesse did it. We did it, yay! First fish of the year.
And I'm also going to try this drop minnow from Great Lakes Finesse. I have a black. All their stuff is matte, which I think is really cool. So the black is actually a matte black. I'm gonna grab one of these. I'm gonna pair it up with one of their Sneaky Underspins. I've got this on another new rod. Ugh, so many new things. We've got the Option Bass 7-foot medium light fast. This is like a subtle thing, but like that gray is so gorgeous. Check that out. And I've got it paired up with a Shimano Marivelle. Got this one last year. Huge fan. At like for the price, I think it's absolutely a value. If you haven't heard of Great Lakes Finesse, they're winning some tournaments. They are making a name for themselves very quickly. They're under the LureNet or Pradco lineup, so there's sort of a legacy of really great baits involved with that they're involved with. So we like that. So here's that Sneaky Underspin. This thing here, I'm gonna get it real close for you. Here's that Sneaky Underspin. Just gonna be a gorgeous, really sweet setup here. Silver blade, metal head. They've got a couple different colors. They've got gold blades. They've got a lot of different sizes, but I think it's gonna be the juice. Oh, that's a fish. That's a fish. Oh, not bad. Little guy, come here, little dude. Here, little chunky guy. Hello. Hi, buddy. Oh no. We did it. First fish of the year on the Sneaky Underspin, just like that. Actually kind of a fast retreat, but look at that top of the mouth, just like you want to see it. I love it. Thanks, man.
What are you throwing?
The old Sneaky. Well, it's not old at all. It's brand new. The new Sneaky.
Oh, you're running a small tush? Oh yeah, jerkbait fish.
Oh, that found the bit?
Yeah. I have 0 drag. Because I didn't finish setting it up, man. I wasn't ready.
Well, they are feeding, so this is great.
Yeah. I had pretty decent faith in this lake. I always do. There we go. First jerkbait fish of the year. Super dinky boy.
Oh, is that on the commission?
That's on that guy right there. What was this? Was like a lavender or something color. I don't remember. Lavender something.
And I got the new Taction Bass. This is their moving bait rod. It's a 7.4 medium heavy mod fast. Look at that freaking setup with the dial on there.
We're running that on the Mega Bass.
Gorgeous.
Levantes.
And I've got a hover rig on with a big paddle tail. Well, a medium paddle tail. Little 325.
Getting better. That was smooth.
There's fish.
Nice.
On the hover rig.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What color?
Top of the, oh yeah. What color? What
Like
color?
a 132 ounce.
Dude, another just top of the mouther with the hover rig. Look at that. Booyah. I absolutely love it. That was cool. I'd like to do that again, sir. Please and thank you. Have a nice day. Whoa. Did you hear? Thump. Guys, should I do the panorama or the drop worm? Great Lakes Finesse has had their moment. I'm gonna try this as like dying bait fish, flat like this. I feel like it can't miss. I'm excited. I've been wanting to try this thing since it came out though. I won't lie. Fish. Second cast, third cast technically. Oh, strong. He is strong. That is I did not see that coming. Oh yeah! Lower lip in the lipstick. And yeah! That was cool. Never eat a dying fish again. Teach you that lesson. Got one. Yes! Yes! Little guy. Little guy. The colors on these cold water fish. Gorge.
They're over here. There we go. Jerkbait. Little baby guys.
Got him. Little chunker chunk. Yeah.
They were actually
Go. Got one. Come here, little guy. That's a chunker. That's a chunker. So we're off the water. Awesome. We did the fish catching thing. But that was the goal.
We caught them.
We had the fun. We
Yep.
caught the fish. We tested the stuff.
Yep.
So let's go through a roundup. Let's do the kayaks first. Jeff, what are your impressions getting into this new boat for the first time?
Man, going back to the Stone Age was great today. So I had no pedal, no sonar, you know, and I fell right into the swing of things. It wasn't that big of a deal. I'm sure I miss a lot of the conveniences that I had with my Hobie, but I had a blast in this kayak today.
The information loss is unfortunate.
The information loss is the worst part. We do have sonar at our disposal. We just haven't rigged it to these kayaks, so we will get to that later. That said, without the sonar, sans sonar, I'm on home turf. It's fine. Paul's fished this lake a bunch with me. We feel pretty comfortable on this lake. So we were still able to find them, figure things out, do what we needed to do. We caught the fish. About the kayak, it was more stable than I thought it was gonna be. It's definitely tapered. It's more narrow than I'm used to. It's
stick. You.
it's
Long and narrow. Long and narrow.
Yeah. It's like an inch or two more narrow than the 106 is, right? So all that said though, very stable. I stood in it a whole bunch, casting, turning around, you know, taking a whiz, whatever you gotta do. Was able to do all of that just fine in here. So I was happy with that. I got my little magnetic bait graveyard, held all the baits like it's supposed to.
I love that. So cool. That's like one of the, how did you feel about this console? Because this was something we were kind of worried about in terms of like not having the open deck.
I didn't love it and I didn't hate it. I thought I would hate it, like it'd be in my way all the time. It really isn't that much in the way. It just sucks when you lose your under seat storage because I can't get anything in there.
Bam, bam,
On
bam.
account of the console's in the way. So to
This
me,
is clutch.
yeah, you're able to, fast flats fit perfectly in there. So I have two fast flats in there. It's got all my gear and then like my BFS flat.
If you don't know what a fast flat is, it's from Busby. It's this really cool thing. Check out Skinny, water very waterproof, not 100% submersible.
Yep.
But terminal fits really nicely in there. So getting 2 of those,
Yep.
clutch.
But
Well, I think like as far as consoles go, good console, but if you don't like consoles, you just won't like it.
It's as far as features for a console, it's probably one of the best out there.
It's got 2 halves, so you unclip these, pop them
Yep.
open, totally open. Same thing on that side. It's pretty sweet.
This is waterproof.
Yep.
You got magnet right there. So I mean, it's not short on features. Tested the new anchor setup. It's a little tight just due to the angle of this.
But like you set this up in an hour, half hour.
I threw this together so I could tweak this, and it's pretty lightweight. I was super happy with the kayak.
How was the speed? Because you weigh 240?
225.
225. So 225, big guy. How was the speed in this boat?
It was pretty good. I felt like it was not hard to paddle. Very smooth paddling.
We had wind today.
Pretty good speed. Anchor worked well. I had 0 problems maneuvering this thing all day. Also, the seat was really comfortable.
The seat is money, and you
So,
get this back here, which is kind of clutch actually for even if it's just coats and hats.
Look at all the storage back here though. So
It's
I had
crazy.
the Z-Man block was in there, the swim bait stuff.
There's a lot. So this is
I
also
had plenty.
for some. For the crates are also new to us.
Yep.
With the lid off, you've got like 7-8 boxes in there, plus the plastics. But this is the 16x16 Yak Attack Blackback Pro. Fits in really nicely, I think, in the back of this. That's the one thing about the big water. You do have one long boat, but there's a lot of space back here.
Yeah.
Did you use the front hatch?
I did not, and I never will, because it's just wide open.
And it's far.
Yeah, and I'm not walking up to it,
Yeah.
but I mean, there is a battery case in there and stuff. I
So
don't know
great.
if I'm gonna use
It is great for batteries. It's great for it's great for camping equipment,
Yeah.
jackets, stuff that you just need to wheels. If you had like disassemble wheels and have them in here, it's really great for that. It's not great for like what the console is, which is just grab
Right.
stuff and use them. So overall, Jeff, for the money too, I think.
Thumbs up on this kayak.
And if you had a motor, we plan on having a motor on this. I think this
Coming
kayak with a
soon.
motor,
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mess around with Bixby and Newport. So we'll see how that goes. But we do have Bixby sending us some foot controlled rudder.
which would be so sick.
We'll have a rudder on the back, which this doesn't come with. So you're adding, you know,
Sure.
a rudder to it.
Yep.
And then you've got line through right here. So we'll have steering cable, Kevlar steering cable. We'll come up here and we're gonna replace these little foot rests here with actual
By
steering.
here, he means that there's a spot right here, this little black dot. There's a little, this is where the cable would come through.
Yep.
And then you take these off, you change this up a little bit, and these foot pedals move left and right. They move the cables, which travel
Go
through the
all the way
inside of the
back.
hull, right back to those little fins, and then they steer for you. It's really cool.
All right, so we're gonna fly through the gear that we tested out today. Got the Arc BFS reel. We'll do a full BFS rod and reel breakdown in another video. But for the day, like just out of the box, brand new line, everything, never touched the water. This thing was easy to dial. Super easy. You can take the side plate off. There's 3 adjustments inside, and then you've got the full like
Yep.
mag adjustments on the outside.
We do have a separate unboxing, so performance-wise,
It was really nice. It
you
does-
high expectations.
I had pretty high expectations for sure, but
And,
I mean, I caught 5 fish on this today, and dude, it was money.
150
Super comfortable,
Yeah.
super easy cast, long distance, easy to dial. It has a wide range of a weight that you can cast. From this little Megabass X80 Junior to like a 132 ounce jig, I was able to switch it up, no problem. And I threw the George DLC BFS ultralight A-rigs on this too.
Let's do a quick comparison. This is very telling for me. A lot of people consider the Corrado BFS from Shimano one of the best, like easily domestically available BFS reels on the market. Everyone else says Corrado. Which one's better?
I like this one a lot better than Corrado, and I've fished the Corrado for a whole year. So if you're on the market and you wanted to actually save like 50, 60 bucks, just get the Arc instead.
Ha! I think that sets the stage really well. What's next?
We have this new TFO, and I actually got a bait on here that I tested today. Pretty much everything that we tested that worked for the day is still tied on, right? So we'll start with the bait, check that out. So that's the Great Lakes Finesse drop minnow. It's 2.75 inches. I caught, dude, I don't know, 8, 9 fish on this today. Same one, didn't change the plastic a single time. Durability, great. Action, phenomenal. So this is the Meltdown Bright Chartreuse. It just banged out of the park, man.
Chartreuse early
Absolutely got
season.
it done.
Chartreuse early season with Clearwater, something I figured out about 2 years ago.
If you need chartreuse, it ain't no use.
It blows so much other stuff away. You don't have to have dark water.
Yep. Also tested out this, oh my God, you're not gonna be able to see
I know
this.
you're not gonna, here, I'll do my best.
It's
So
a
with the
little
light,
drop shot
there you go. See this little tiny clip above the drop shot? It enables you to tie the knot tie the hook to the exact depth you want, and instead of cutting this off every time to change out your weight, you just clip it, unclip it, clip it, unclip it. It's super clean, really inexpensive. I haven't seen that anywhere else. I'm sure it exists and there's other ways to do it, but that was just a really cool way. Great little innovation.
It is the juice.
So it's not rods, baby.
Also, we had the TFO Taction, which first time fishing this. This came out last year, I believe.
Yeah.
So the new Taction series, we got the Professional, we got the Option.
Yep.
We pretty much got their whole lineup, right? But this is the Taction spinning, and this one in particular is a medium light fast action. This thing is phenomenal. Very comfortable to fish with, in hand, very lightweight, well balanced, all of that. This was a joy to fish.
Couple things to call out with the TFO. First of all, they were sent to us at no cost to us, and what we loved about them is they stand behind their brand. We told them, we're just gonna beat them up. We're gonna give our opinion. They were like, that's exactly what we want. So respect. Second of all, thanks for sending them. These things are great. Here's some of the changes from some of the older models. So I have the previous model floating around somewhere. There it is. So this is the Tactical Elite, which I love.
Yep.
So right here you can see these wind grips, and see that plastic part right? Can you point to this for me?
Yeah, so
see
the reel seat's just the classic reel seat.
Most people have them. Some really high-end models have them. But look at how, this is where you grab the rod, is right where Jeff's thumb is, and that's where they've made a change. So now that's cork instead of the wind and the plastic, and it's really comfortable. The balance, I think, is actually a little better, and it's just more comfortable to fish with, so I love that.
So there's your balance point right in front of that.
That's what you want to see. So 7.6 medium light, fast action, 1/8 to 1/2 ounces. That's a pretty small range for most versus most rods. Most of these TFO models, they are a little more specific when you get to these higher tactical versions of them. But I'll say this, they are way more flexible than what's listed. I think they do themselves on the marketing side maybe a little disservice because you think a bait might not work. Would you agree with me? I think
they're just being
they're being conservative and they're
honest about it.
I agree, but there's a much wider range. Like, I broke the range on the low side and the high side with all the TFOs, and they performed really well. So just if you're shopping, you're like, oh no, I go heavier than that, or I want to, just know that the range is a little wider. This is just where they really excel.
Yep. Next up on the TFO, we got the Professional. So of all their series, basically goes Professional, Option, Taction, right? So this is actually the lower end and was still a blast to fish with. Around 120 bucks, these things are insane. This is just a great rod for that much. And again, really comfy reel seat. You got cork throughout above and below that. This is a medium heavy, 3/8 to 1 ounce is the weight range on this. And I actually ended up throwing this little guy. This is the Hog Farmer Micro A-Rig.
Another test
from Tactical Bassin. We picked it up because people yelled at us for talking about ultralight A-Rigs, and I'm happy that we did. Actually, Matt Allen, he messaged us because we were talking about these, comparing them in size, and we called out the wrong one. And he was like, oh, you meant the other one. And I was like, okay, you know
bad,
what?
dog.
I'll buy both. So then I bought both. But this is the Mini, and then we have the Micro as well. So the Mini has got 3 dummy rigs up here, and then 3 hook rigs down here. The thing's insane.
If you're in the Midwest, this is the A-Rig you want.
This is perfect. Today was not the day for it, but we're very close to the day for it, and I can't wait for that. But the thing fishes really well. You don't even need a swivel at the front because it's just so well balanced. There's no weight up top. It's all the way down here. So it balances out. It runs great. I'm excited to catch some fish on it, but that was another test that I was really happy with. So here's the bougie combo.
The exact opposite.
I was so pumped to fish this thing, and I was right. This thing's phenomenal. So we had the Megabass Levante. This is a 7-foot, they call it the flat side special, but it's a 7-foot regular action, which is kind of more moderate. It's like a moderate fast. And it's
beautiful.
Super light, super gorgeous. Just a pleasure to fish with. This thing was so comfortable. The action is perfect for jerk baits. So you can see I had jerk bait tied on there. Megabass.
Oh, look at me go.
Okay, all right. Really not the one I fished all day either.
Does Megabass make a kayak? Where do I go get one of those?
You can't afford it. I paired this up with the Arc Gravity G5. So new reel, new rod. Had no idea straight out of the box like what to expect with this thing, but I was super pleased. I'm very happy that I got this combo, the Gravity G5. Yeah, so for the price though, like
under 200.
Super stoked with this. Very comfortable reel to have in hand to fish with. Good drag settings, easy to dial in. It's as dialable as that Arc BFF. So it's got that same drag setting. So you got 1, 2, 3 settings in there, and then you got all these settings on the outside of that. So
what happens is you get 3 settings, and it basically you push down and turn it, and it goes from 1 to 2 to 3. Each one moves further or closer, moves the magnets further or closer to the spool. And what you get is you get 3 settings, but then you get 10 because the dial works on the outside within each setting. So instead of just having 10, you get like much more minute detail, so you can go 30 instead of 10. It's amazing. It's just a great idea.
It also has this little like line test. So that's pretty cool that you can say, oh, this is 20-pound test line.
But it actually works. Most people that have those, it does not work.
We have it on the Hakai. You can't turn it on the Hakai. It's unusable.
It's a good idea. It just didn't work out. We love Okuma. Don't want to talk any smack, but didn't love that part of it.
It didn't work on that. So the Levante, phenomenal. I'm super pumped. It is $200, so it's like
not free.
Fishing these TFOs, I'm like, okay, I could get almost as good a rod for 120 to 150 bucks. 200 bucks though, like this versus the Taction, and the Tactions are $200. This is pretty phenomenal. Like it's tough to beat this. I was really happy with that.
You also, I mean, I feel like the design aspect of it, it's got such a unique reel seat. It's
yeah, mostly cool. I was happy because I spent $200 on a
and
rod.
wasn't mad.
And I didn't want to be mad about it.
So we're gonna go pretty quick through the next baits because we tested a lot. So we're just gonna say, here's what it is, and here's how good and or bad it was.
So the Core Tackle hover rig we have in here. This is a 1/16 ounce, and I ended up putting the FF Sonar Minnow from Yum on here. The Yum Minnow is actually like perfect for this rig. So it had some good darting action. It had a slight roll to it if you retrieved it slow, but mostly just keeping it in one spot and just popping that bait up. It would go straight up, go straight down, do hover riggy things, and seemed to be really cool. Now the fish were not eating this; they were eating drop shot today, but I predict it's gonna work well this year. So
didn't hate it.
I like that a lot. I just got this in this month's 6 Cents sack. So this is a silent version of their jerkbait, so there's no rattle in this one. But this is the 106 Deep. It's called the 106 DD, double D.
As always, the colors.
Yeah, great, like just kind of muted matte color here with that standard bait fish pattern. Love it. This thing caught a bunch of fish today, was really fun to fish with, and it gets you that deeper diving. So it's 4 to 7 feet, it says on the bottoms. I didn't catch on this one, but Paul did, and I had a lot of fun fishing this thing. So this is the Great Lakes Finesse drop minnow, 2.75 inch. That's that smoky purple one. Maybe I would have had better luck with chartreuse. And that's the Sneaky Underspin. Again, maybe it would have been better with a gold blade today. We don't know, but Paul did catch on this.
I do know. I caught on it twice, and it was great. I loved every second of it. And I'll say this right now: it casts. And maybe it was the rod, but it just casted way further than I thought it had. 1/16 ounce had any business casting,
it's got a good balance.
And it's got a really skinny head, and it pulled through a lot more cover than I thought. Like other than like goop, it pulled right through. It caught. It's money. I cannot wait to get this on St. Clair.
100%. Here's another thing I tested out. This is the Hangover from 6 Cents. Oh no, she gone.
What happened?
This is what I should have done.
I'm gonna go ahead and cut in. Here's what happened.
I'd be lucky if I caught another one, but I'd be, oh, guess what? I just lost the Hangover.
It wasn't great. Sorry, rip.
Listen, I kept my cool, all right? It was tough, but I did.
So much respect. You have no idea. Well, everybody knows how hard it is. You just huck 20 bucks within the first 20 minutes of fishing while you're trying to paddle around and the wind's like buffeting you. That's a good time to lose your cool, right? Jeff retained his cool. He still has it. It's somewhere in the center console.
Yep, it's staying there. It's under the magnet, probably.
Respect, though.
So when I did test it, the good news is I got to fish it a little bit, right? And then we had a little line complication, and it's somewhere over in that vicinity now,
find it in
on the
spring.
bottom. Maybe I can, when I get my forward facing sonar, maybe I'll find it. But yeah, so when I did get a chance to fish it, I will say there's probably some imbalances in quality control with 6 Cents. My particular Hangover model worked fine. Had to retrieve it slow, but I was running it on my big swim bait setup right here. So that bait caster is a 6:4 gear ratio. So running it on that, like I wasn't able to go fast enough to blow the thing out or have it roll on me. I was trying to like move it next to the boat, see that. I couldn't see it on sonar, obviously, but from what I could feel and see, it seemed to run fine until I put it on the bottom of the drink. So whatever.
Rip.
Yep. And the last thing we got to test out is what we've been waiting for, but these are the George DLC BFS A rigs. And this one, when I rigged it correctly, because I had it incorrectly rigged before, I put 2 lighter jigs up top, the heavier jig at the bottom, and then I just alternated the colors a little bit there. Runs great. Threw it on my BFS setup, no problems, no issues whatsoever. The only thing I would call out is what everybody else did, which is we want smaller hardware, which Jorge, aka George DLC 12, has amended. He's gone and he's changed those. Paul has some of the newer ones. I didn't fish any of those today. I just fished this one because the only issue is once in a while you get that happening, where they get hooked together and then it doesn't run right. It'll still catch fish, but it doesn't run the way you want it. One last thing that doesn't need any time at all. I used this today, this little bait blocks thing. It was freaking sweet.
I was gonna say good and or bad.
It was great. Like it fit. I mean, it's too expensive, Z-Man. Knock the price down a little bit.
I would take a price cut, but I don't think it's too expensive.
All right, it's pricey compared to a lot of options out there, but it does have the waterproof bottom, which is great because my boat gets wet. But this was cool. Like it fit right in this little pocket back here.
Freaking glove.
I was able to get that out of there no problem, and yeah, it's great. It holds a ton of plastics.
Yeah,
big win. One more thing to call out from my kayak perspective is I got to use the black pack. And again, I don't have the lid on mine, and I stand behind that fully. I actually was happy I didn't have the lid on it. It holds an insane amount of tackle, more than is necessary. I do have the 16x16 one, so it is the bigger one.
And show them the rod holder setup. They work great.
And the rod holder setup, so what I had to do, because the old town has these high walls here, it's deep, it's high walled, and it's too narrow. These rod holders do not fit inside of the back cargo area, so I had to raise them up. And I was a little concerned, but it actually worked out really well. So I got like my longer rods on the front two and my shorter rods on the back one where it'll clip onto, it'll hit this thing. So it ended up working really well. Paul, what new things did you try out this day?
First of all, it's the Old Town PDL 106. I have been in this boat before. I have opinions. My opinion is I think it's the best all-around value kayak that you can buy there. I said it.
Period.
The only thing that comes close is a Crescent, but if you want a pedal model, you can't get it. So that's just my opinion. But I think that this boat is more stable to stand on than this one is, even though it comes in a much smaller package. I think that this, as a floating drive, is super fast and super compact. It's low and out of your way. I love the waterproof console here that pops up on its own. I used it a ton. And it's just very clean design. I would like to see someday this change. I did use it. My battery's in here. I have some other stuff in there, but it's all stuff I'm not going to grab during the day. I'd want this to be more accessible. I like the larger opening with maybe some sort of drop in, but it does keep the weight down. I like that. My underseat storage area, I kept 2 of these in there, and that is so clutch. I absolutely love it. There is some more room underneath. It's specifically under here. I just didn't need it today. Another thing to call out about this kayak is everything's really low profile. Like, this is not in your way. It's very clean, but I've got trash, I've got baits. You could put 3600 size boxes in here. You can do whatever you need, but it's clean, it's low maintenance, it's out of the way. Same thing with this setup right here. It's low, it's out of the way. Again, low maintenance. All the rod holders that are built in are flush. This is your forward facing rod holder, which is one of my favorite features. When you're rigging up, you just do this. The bait hangs right in front of you. It's wonderful. There is a problem I have with it though. I'm a right-handed person, like I would say most of America, and when you catch a fish, I just want to put it right here. Like I want that to be over here. It works on the left-hand side. You just got to get used to it, and it's a little awkward when you net a fish and you're like, okay, what do I do now? I have to like reach across. It's still great. I want it over here. This is where it was in my old kayak. I'm a huge proponent of it. I want it here. Moving back, I am trying these sideline. I think I called it the sidekick earlier in the video, but the sideline from Bonafide. This is awesome. It clips right on here, and then there's some straps that go underneath, and you just kind of tighten them up. But like, The magnetic enclosure is great because you can reach into the back. You get this, which I had like my memory cards in, which is like, again, super, it's just convenient storage. Camera gear, scale, line, pliers, the extra cup holder, like this takes care of like buying a whole bunch of other stuff. It's expensive, it's not cheap, but I really do like, I think this is 90 bucks. Honestly, totally worth it because you can also use it as a standalone. Oh, another thing, with the way this kayak is set up, I don't actually need to use like a rod holder for my net, which I do a lot of times in other kayaks. Because this floats, and this is 20 bucks from like line cutters or 25 bucks, I literally just leave it right there like that. It's out of the way of everything. I don't strap it, nothing. If it falls out, it floats, I don't care. And it's a quick grab for catching a fish, so I love that. All right, let's talk rods and reels. I will do this all very, very quickly. This is the TFO option. This is the medium light, 7-foot medium light fast. This was maybe my favorite rod that I used today.
Ooh.
It was extremely flexible. I would like to see this in a 7.4. I don't know that they don't make one, but I like a 7.4, but the 7-foot was great. I cast underspins, jerk baits, drop shot, a whole bunch of stuff. Never had an issue, super sensitive. This is my favorite change. And I do like foam instead of their older wind grip. This is overall for the money, a gigantic win. Love this, just love it. Next up today was the TFO Taction. So I had the spinning version of their previous, I always get this wrong. Tactical Elite was like the previous model. I have the same perception as Jeff. I think the flexibility of this setup, so this is a 7.4 medium heavy mod fast. This can do anything. I jig fished with it. I have a swim bait on here. You can run anything on this. It's extremely flexible. I love this setup. Here's one thing. Look at the guide, that first guide. Look at how heavy duty the dual foot guide is. And then if you notice, the rings are kind of set back. Hard to see on camera, but all of these guides look like that. These are probably the nicest guides on a sub, like, you know, $250 rod that I've seen. I'm a big fan of this, big fan. So this is a Phoenix rod. You guys all asked about Phoenix rods. This is the M1. This is a swim bait rod. This is freaking beautiful. Like, it's got this like pearl blue and then with the black and purple. It's amazing. It really is gorgeous. It is extremely light. And I will say this right now. I told Jeff this, like, the 1 to 6 ounce range is what you get with this rod. Mm-hmm. This swim bait, this is the 6-inch cull shad. Honestly, like, it was nothing. And usually when you get really light, more stiff swim bait rods, you get like a reverberation right when you let go of the bait, and it kind of shudders through. Didn't get any of that. Super smooth. Would love to get some fish on it, so I still need to, but first impressions, very nice. I did like it. Next up is the Corrado. This is the 201XG is the model, but this is the Corrado with the MGL spool. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. I can't wait to get some more swim bait work on this one, and also some big A-rigs. That's my goal here. I think with that oversized handle and then just the 200 size, I think it's perfect for that. I do have the 8.5 speed. I love it. You can obviously go slower. They have other models, but so I do think I think it's actually, as far as Shimano goes, a value. So I do like it. A little bit on the expensive side. This is the the Bass Mafia briefcase, I think it's called.
Something like that.
Something like that.
I don't know.
Tough to find. I found this one on Omnia, so go Omnia for carrying this, because
we'll put links in here.
I'll put a link in there for sure. Pros double zipper. We really like the double zipper, and actually, one of the biggest problems with my favorite storage, which is
quick cubes.
The quick cubes, they have to open up like this, but because they're not as flexy. But I found that if I just open this up somewhat on both sides, nothing spills out, but I can still see everything. So I actually really, this is kind of cool, and it is like weather resistant, so it's not as heavy duty as the Busby's, but you got enough. It's good enough. And then the handle actually being big is kind of a clutch thing. So
solid.
It's still expensive for 40 bucks. I'd be a little hesitant, but if you got the scratch away. And I do want to call out another plastic we were trying out today. So I had the Panorama. This is the 2.8. A lot of people said that these smaller sizes
Don't work.
are no bueno and don't work. I would hard disagree.
Fibs.
I two fish in like 3 or 4 casts, and I felt like immediately if there was a fish there, I was gonna catch it. I also tried out the Snack Craw on a jig. This was not a jig day, and this with their open hook ball head jig, I'm gonna catch so many fish on this year. This is gonna be the one.
So far, we're pretty impressed with the Great Lakes Finesse as far as like durability goes. Dude, I ran the same drop minnow all day.
It's a weird plastic, and I don't. It's very dense, but it still has action, and usually that's where you lose. There's a perfect middle ground, and being so finessey, Great Lakes Finesse is like one of my new favorites, up there with Beast Coast, like in terms of like being maybe a smaller medium, up and comer with just killer product. Mulletron was dope. I do have a tip for you on the Mulletron though. So this is a line through, so you have to like weave your line through. It can be a little tricky at first, the first time you try it, but because it's Z-Man and you get the ElasTech benefit, instead of trying to like negotiate it this way without messing with the plastic, just pull the plastic back, expose that portion right there, weave your line through, and then just let it go back to the way it was. So that's my little tip. No catches on this, but the action on it was way better than I thought it would be. A lot of people say Z-Man in cold water has some issues with action. I didn't with this because it's really just the shape of that tail. So this worked really great. I cannot wait to get this in just like a little bit warmer weather.
All right, so I got a chance to test this baby out right here. This is the Smithwick Rogue Pro, and it came in some new colors this year. So we picked this up on our gigantic tackle order from the LureNet website. Phenomenal. Great jerk bait. It's kind of the classic old school style, kind of like the Husky jerks from Rapala. Big fan though. I liked it. Sharp hooks. Didn't need to replace them or anything, which is what you want to see. And yeah, I would say overall, we'll fish again. All right, you guys, that is all we got for today. So I know we just tested a whole bunch of stuff, and it was only the first time being out with it. So obviously we'll get more of a full season on all of this gear by the end of the year. And we're excited to do a lot more reviews for you. But today we had a blast. You know why? Because we caught fish.
We caught some freaking fish.
And that's what it's all about. So this was an awesome day. Hopefully you guys had fun with this video. Hopefully this was helpful if you're on the market for any of the gear, any of the kayaks, the lures, everything that we talked about today. And if it was, be sure to like, subscribe, and maybe ring that notification bell. And then you can also come back live every Wednesday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. We'd love to see you there and talk to you in chat. I'm cold now, so we're gonna leave. Okay, bye.
Bye.